Developing tonight, this Littleton police officer behind bars tonight, suspected of buying the drug ecstasy with plans to distribute. 7 News reporter Marshall Zellinger live now. Marshall, you saw some of the photos of the actual arrest.
Mike, a source provided me a glimpse of that arrest, but could not hand over the photos. From what I saw from that Friday afternoon, from the pictures from Friday afternoon, about a dozen FBI agents in SWAT gear, many hanging around the driveway here of the Parker home, and then Officer Jeffrey Johnston in this area in cuffs in his own front lawn. Officer Jeffrey Johnston on the force with Littleton Police for 22 years, now in custody. According to this federal affidavit, he bought 37 ecstasy pills and powder for $1,300 from a confidential informant. Littleton Police learning more about the arrest in federal court this afternoon.
Absolute disappointment mixed with anger and sadness.
According to the affidavit, last Tuesday, a phone call was recorded between the informant and Officer Johnston. The officer is recorded using the slang CDs to describe ecstasy. Quote, "I guess you had loaned her some of those CDs or whatever before. Some of my friends that want to listen to that music too." On Friday, the informant went to Johnston's Parker home and delivered the drugs. Johnston was arrested a short time later. The affidavit reveals investigators also found suspected cocaine, suspected steroids, hundreds of suspected prescription pills, firearms, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. And tonight, the Littleton police chief commenting on the city's own website, writing, quote, "Officer Johnston's alleged misconduct occurred in his private life and does not reflect on the professional reputation and outstanding service of the men and women of the Littleton Police Department." Then he goes on to say, "Police officers are human, and just like all people, sometimes they make bad decisions." Reporting live, Marshall Zellinger, 7 News.
The vast majority of Americans have no faith in our government. That is continually evident every time I see a poll that comes out about the approval rating of our Congress. It's usually in the high teens, or sometimes it's even in the low teens. Even the approval rating of our president is below 50%. Most people that I run into online don't have a positive view of police either. I grew up in a military family. I have several family members who are still currently military. I have friends that are U.S. Marshals and friends that are police officers currently. So from my standpoint, I know some of the positives that I've seen from police. But every single day when you come on the internet, all you're seeing is negativity surrounding the police officers. And in this day and age with everybody having a smartphone, you can't hide wrongdoing. If there's something being done that's stupid, you can bet your ass that someone is recording it and placing it on YouTube. So police officers are not able to get away with the crap that they might have been able to get away with 15, 20 years ago. Now here's a police officer who's a police officer by day, but he's caught buying drugs from an informant to sell. So the very people that's supposed to be protecting our streets from the scumbags and the poison sellers and the assholes that pollute our communities and bring them down, they are the very same people that are buying drugs. Now the other day I had a story on my page about a damn police officer that went into a small business and planted crack.
Sending an undercover informant in twice in March. The second time, Andrew's attorney, Kevin Lebrand, does play-by-play that appears to show the informant planting, then photographing crack cocaine that led to Andrew's arrest.
Donald turns, he comes in, places the crack on the counter, crack which under federal sentencing guidelines would get him 4 years in jail. Under New York state law would get him 2 to 7 years in jail.
Trying to get a charge on a small business owner. Who can you trust? There's very few elected officials that we can trust. Most of them talk about all rah-rah speeches and yeah, we're gonna get this done, and then they get in office and they don't do shit. They're just another pawn. They're another face. We went from this face to that face and nobody does anything. I'm speechless. I'm lost for words. And I'm sure this guy isn't the only person. I'm sure there's other cops. I'm sure there's cops that go out on the streets, bust drug dealers, take their drugs, let them loose, and sell the drugs themselves. I wouldn't put it past any of them. I used to have a little bit of faith. I used to say, well, this is just an anomaly. This is just, it's rare. It's, you can look back through my previous videos and see where I had a little bit of faith in our police. That faith is slowly starting to leave, day by day, video by video, scandal after scandal. And I know people aren't perfect. Like I tell people all the time online, man, we have 50 states here in the United States. Every city has a police department. If you expect for 50 states and every city, everywhere in the United States, for each one of these individuals to be fucking perfect, you're out of your mind. That's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen in any profession. There's going to be bad doctors. There's going to be bad lawyers. There's going to be bad teachers. There's bad apples in every crop. The more that I turn the TV on, the more that I watch, the more that I see, the people who are supposed to be protecting us the most, our teachers, are not even teaching what they're supposed to teach. They're too busy having sex with our students. And our police officers, they are too busy out here harassing the general public, beating on innocent people, and now they're out here selling drugs. I don't even know what to say. Anyway, that is my thought about this. Go ahead and drop your comments down below.